Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Friday. I have 3 videos uploading. 2 while I was at work, 1 after I just got home, and this one is going to be topic specific. GLP-1, your appetite, my update. I'm on end of week 2, so I have to take my shot tomorrow. And, because I was a drinker, like quite literally every single day, I will give you the skinny on how alcohol is affected on GLP-1. So, yeah, this sounds like a typical fucking YouTube video. Introduce, get the topic going. Yeah, I usually don't do that. It's usually I'm like behind the wheel, or I'm like, hey, guess what happened to me today? Kind of shit. So, I am on beer 6. And in my head, like physiologically, here, I feel like I've drank 10. However, intellectually, I'm still on beer 6. So, we might make sense. GLP-1 affects everybody differently. It's got different side effects. I don't have nausea. I don't have the vomiting. I don't have the irritating, like bowel movement, diarrhea, constipation issues. I was on keto and carnivore for like 2 years. And so I'm used to the irregular kind of BM type of thing. So what I had noticed after I had gone off of it is the appearance of said toilet droppings. And they wouldn't look right until I ate a potato. Don't ask. I just, pattern recognition, hyper observant, slightly neurotic. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, your alcohol consumption. Your capability of drinking whatever it is that you used to drink before is going to go into the gutter. I'm just giving you a heads up now. Because I know for a fact how many beers of this particular kind that I can consume, and over a 3-year period of, trauma, abuse, recovery kind of thing. Yeah, I've gotten up to 17 of those and didn't feel much different than I do right now on 6. So, just goes for saying. However, my gin and juice, because I have 2 things that I drink. 2. Negra Modelo, Tanqueray, and grapefruit. That's it. Now, when I had a head cold, I was sicker than a dog. One time band camp, probably a year ago. My mother was out and about, and she's like, how you feeling? I said, sicker than a fucking dog. She goes, you at work? Hell yes, I'm at work. She goes, I'm going to the liquor store. I'm going to buy you some stuff. These old people down here, they swear by it. So I've got like some rock and rye, mulberry brandy, something or other, wine, something. Anyway, yes, she went shopping. And I got home from work and, I was about laid out flat and I find this stuff on my counter and I was like, God, you know what, woman? You never cease to fucking amaze me. But anyway, I tried it all and I'm thinking I'd rather just eat a fucking garlic clove that's been marinating in honey for a month than having to eat that shit. That rock and rye is nasty. I am sorry. It is fucking nasty. Kudos to those who can fucking stand it. Man, I took one swig of that shit and I was ready to hit the toilet. Like, ugh. Yeah, I'll puke the fucking sick out of me. That's what's gonna happen. Anyway, just to give you a heads up on the GLP-1, because I'm in my second week. Third shot comes in tomorrow. I've got it. It's in the fridge. The alcohol consumption when you're on a GLP-1 will be pretty much like half of what you were typically capable of doing without the GLP-1. I don't know how this shit works. I don't know why it does this. I haven't studied the whole mechanical, cellular, physiological component yet. I just know test driving this is 6. Yep, I am loopy as a motherfucker. I was loopy as a motherfucker on 3. So I had to wait for the videos to start uploading. One to go into YouTube so I could delete it from the files on the phone. And then I have room just so I can gab at you. There we are. So, little nuances about GLP-1. Your appetite isn't so much suppressed as your cravings for any particular item are really just morbidly diminished. If you were a huge fan of macaroni and cheese, you are not a huge fan of macaroni and cheese anymore. You'll get that epiphany. I'm gonna cook, and you're gonna cook it, and you're gonna make it, and you're gonna serve yourself something, and you're gonna sit down and you're gonna eat it, and you're gonna get 4 bites in and be like, nothing tastes right. Did I fuck up this recipe? No, you didn't. It's a GLP-1. It's messing with your mind. There are certain things about GLP-1 that are great, though. Outside of the food aversion. Because I have a very huge appetite. And that is primarily from being a bodybuilder. When I bodybuilt, I knew I could work it off. And I did. Me and my daughter's father got a free pizza from Pizza Hut because we ate an entire Bigfoot pizza. Less 1 piece. They gave us a free pizza. A free Bigfoot. Not a free 6 slice. A free Bigfoot. Yeah, before my daughter was conceived. Yeah. Because we body built. And we could consume that kind of carbohydrate. We could consume that kind of food because we were going to work it off. I mean, like, literally, I had 14-inch biceps with veins down the front. It was wild. Anyway, your appetite or your ability to consume a lot of food before your ghrelin kicks in is lessened. your craving for certain things. This is on week 2. Like week 1, I was like, this shit ain't working. It ain't working. Until I drank a gin and juice. And I was like, whoa. Maybe it is working. Because I could only do like 2. And I was ready for bed. Now there is a kind of a correlating fact that certain drinks, carbonated, non-carbonated, depending on your preference and things of that nature, that will affect you differently. And certain drinks do affect you differently. My gin and juice usually don't hit me in quite the intensity as a beer would, or many beers for that matter, especially me. And so when I consume them, I feel them faster than I actually feel the beers in that regard. But I will honestly say, with the 6 that I've consumed today, plus the last 2 weeks, a total of 11 drinks. 11. Over a 2-week period. That is monumental. Because I used to do 11 a night. 11 a night. Literally. I would drink like 11 beers, or I would drink like probably 2/3 of that gin. Gallon. The one with the handle. In one night. I'd get home from work and I would drink until I went to bed. I might eat in there. Typically I would eat in there, but I wouldn't remember doing it. I'd wake up the next morning and be like, what happened to my kitchen? Because I would be so drunk cooking that I wouldn't remember cooking, eating it, and storing whatever was left in the refrigerator. Working on autopilot. That kind of thing. So GLP-1 literally stifles your alcohol tolerance. That is honest to God. Now, some of the beneficial things that it does that they're not really remarking on, and it's probably because if everybody knew the secrets, everybody would be on it. And it's kind of one of those things where you have to know your nutrition and your supplement education in order to accept these little things. So I have leucine, I have lecithin, I cannot ever pronounce this fucking thing. Inositol, myoinositol, and these particular supplements are critical. The myoinositol is definitely critical for any female. Males, you don't need it. I would say probably not as much. The lecithin is a fat absorber. And they're kind of, haphazardly promoting it as a cholesterol reducer. It doesn't reduce cholesterol. Your liver's going to make cholesterol regardless. But what it does do is it binds to fat. And it prevents fat from being digested. Like it goes in your, you got the lecithin in there. You eat something fatty, it's going to bind to the fat. It's going to keep the protein and the carbohydrates alone. You're going to do whatever you got to do with those digestively. But the lecithin is going to bind to the fat, so your body doesn't get the extra fat. And it forces your body to burn the fat, supposedly. I was on keto and carnivore. And the first year, I was fucking rocking it. The second year, I started to gain weight. I went into dawn effect. I was in dawn effect from start. Hypoglycemics will experience a completely different result from GLP-1 than those that were automatically diabetic. They were type 2 diabetic diagnosed. I was heading to pre-diabetes. And I actually ate healthier than my type 2 diabetic sister. Why is that? Because the hypoglycemia was not controlled. So, in order for me to control the hypoglycemia, I was literally one meal a day type of environment. I would eat one meal a day. And if I did get a craving for the sandwiches at the one particular shop up the road from my plant, and I was able to hit them up for whatever, I wouldn't eat a whole lot at dinner time. But it was basically carb loading. Now, when you're a hypoglycemic, you can't eat a donut in the morning, because at 10 o'clock in the morning, your blood sugar is going to drop and you're going to feel jittery, shaky, and bitchy. If you don't want to be, feeling that way, you avoid the donut. Or you eat protein. Anybody who has ever experienced a hypoglycemic episode, ever, in their life, needs to invest in a glucose monitor. Highly recommend. Now, I have one. It acts like shit. I need a new one. I need a better one. I need one that does ketones. But when I was on keto, I wasn't checking ketones. I was monitoring my blood sugar, because I knew that was huge in determining when I needed to eat. What I started to have an issue with was dawn effect. And that's when your liver pushes a whole shit ton of glycogen and glucose into your system, having converted any protein that you ate into a glucose. And as soon as your alarm goes off, no matter what time it is, it literally signals to your body to feed you breakfast. And there's a lot of people out there who have this issue. And they go and eat breakfast because that glucose push makes them feel funny. Well, I drink coffee and whatnot, and I get up like 2.5 hours before I need to be to work. Takes me 15 minutes to get there. You know, I'm literally being a couch potato in the morning, waking my eyeballs up. But I also know that right now, I don't care what my blood glucose is in the morning because I can feel it. And at about, I don't know, 9:30, if I start at 1 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning, I'm feeling hungry. And I can push through hunger. I can push through it. I don't succumb to it like most people do. My glucose needs to slam bottom out. And I need to get dizzy with ocular migraines and sweats and all the side effects of a hypoglycemic attack for me to succumb to any kind of hunger. I know there's a lot of people out there but like, she's crazy, it's three-legged duck. No, I've been doing it for years. If I was not able to do that, I would be as big as a house. There is a repercussion to one meal a day. And depending on your stress level and your cortisol level, one meal a day could be detrimental. If you are screaming cortisol, which I was, because of bad relationship, I was accustomed and pretty much metabolically trained for one substantial meal a day. Didn't matter what time of day it was. When I got off work, whether it be 10 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when I ate. And I did not eat again until I got off work. Did not matter what time it was. What I was experiencing was the dawn effect. Now, when I was on keto, I would bring 4 boiled eggs, 1 ribeye steak, carrots with guacamole. Yeah. Was there something else? There was something else. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, that's what I would bring every day to work with me. I did not eat breakfast before I left for work. Sometimes I was leaving at 1 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I'm leaving at 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes I would start at 6, maybe even 7. Concrete world. This is what it's like, right? So I trained literally my body to not eat while I was at work. Didn't matter what time I started. Didn't matter what time I finished. My body is trained to not be hungry, technically, until I get home from work. I might feel hunger pains at 9, 2, whatever. I don't succumb to them. I don't hit up the convenience store and grab anything for it unless my body goes into sweats and blinding ocular vision and shakes. I do not eat. I make my body work. So, what is 90% of my weight gain? This right here. But it's Friday, and I haven't drank hardly at all in 2 weeks. So, I'm going to do these. I'm going to do this video. I'm going to give you the skinny GLP-1 will literally cut your alcohol tolerance to nothing. Just giving you a heads up. And it has a nasty side effect of you're hungry, but you can't think of a damn thing to eat. I have a freezer full of meats. I have a refrigerator full of vegetables and fruits and whatever. I even have like meal preps in there. Nothing sounds good. Nothing. So, tomorrow morning is my scheduled shot number 3. I am praying that it's not in vain, because I am at the end of the cycle of shot number 2, and now I have an appetite. I'm hungry. The beers are filling me up, but they're making me loopy as hell. I had half a chicken breast, just kind of like nibbling on it. But I am not in the mood for nothing. And that is not good. When you're on GLP-1, you have to eat something. You have to. You do not want your muscle to deteriorate. Hence, leucine. Any protein that you do eat is not converted into sugar. It is by way of the leucine forced into your muscles where it belongs. It's kind of like acts kind of like K2 and D3 together. It takes calcium, whatever calcium might be naturally occurring in like lettuce or whatever, and it takes that calcium and it converts it straight into the bones where you need it. It doesn't dilly-dally with secondary functions. Protein secondary function. If you do not have enough leucine in your system, it will go straight to the liver, and the liver will convert it to glucose. So when you go into durations of fasting, your liver will push out this glucose, and your body will struggle to get into a state of ketosis where it starts to burn your body fat for energy. Leucine. Leucine is your key. Lecithin is your backup. If you're eating a lot of fat, if you're eating too much fat, because in order to cook stuff, you need the butter. In order, you're eating too much fat. You love sour cream. I love sour cream. I love sour cream. Everything Mexican must have sour cream on it. That is my weakness. I have weaknesses. If you're going to eat a high-fat meal, it is probably a good idea to consume a little bit of leucine in order to absorb it, to prevent that absorption through your intestines. However, in order for you to get certain fat-soluble vitamins, you have to have a little bit of fat. So, you have to think strategically about the usage of certain supplements. And that's it. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I picked my raspberries. I had my chicken breast. I had 6 beers. I got my carbs in for the day. These fuckers. But yeah, I'm tired. I went to work at 1 o'clock in the morning and I didn't get home until probably almost 2. I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to sleep good tonight. I don't even want that last one. I'm going to bed. So, I hope y'all have a great weekend. Be safe, pray for each other, and don't do anything stupid. Be good. Peace.